Everything you desire is waiting for you to claim it. There's no creating involved, only invention through imagination and building through action. You are at the center of all your desires, dreams, and achievements. Welcome to Designing Your Life Today, the podcast that's all about your success, achieving your goals, building wealth through your business, and building your most passionate, powerful, magnificent life. Discover ways to use your purpose to connect you to serving others and living your dreams. I am Pat Council, and I know you are built by design to win. And it all begins with knowing how to tap into your success energy. Let's get on the path of discovery, decisive action, development, and unwavering dedication to your life's calling. It's time to embark on a transformative journey where your deepest passions become your most rewarding achievements. Embrace your power to shape your destiny, because this is your moment to do life with power. Hello, Power Up Nation. I'm Pat Council, and on Designing Your Life Today, I want to share 5 things to stop if you want to amplify your success. So 5 things to stop to amplify your success. We are coming up on our Summer Success series. So if you're not on my email list, please get on my email list by clicking on the link in the show notes, or you have a second email list option. All you have to do is type the word join and add your email and then text it to 904-787-6055. That's send a text with the word join to 904-787-6055. That will also be in the show notes for you. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that you want to stop doing if you want to amplify your success. This year seems to be moving so quickly. Seems like last year moved quickly as well. However, 24 hours is 24 hours. And what you do during those 24 hours is what matters to when it comes to you achieving success. Now, when I talk about achieving success, I'm not just talking about earning lots of money, building a business. There's more to it than that. This is everything. This is about your health. This is about your wealth. This is about building your best relationships. And of course, one of the best ways to build the best relationship is to have a really great relationship with yourself. If someone were to say, "Oh, I love myself," people would say they were being conceited, or they were being arrogant, or they were boasting, when in fact, the Bible tells us to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if you don't love yourself, it's kind of hard for you to love anybody else, or for anybody else to love you, for that matter. It becomes very difficult for them. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. At least I don't think we are. We're going to talk about 5 things that you want to stop doing if you want to amplify your success. So these are, I believe, short and sweet. So let's get right into it. The first one is to stop complaining. There's so much that's going on in our country and around the world. People find reasons to complain. And here's the thing about that is complaining doesn't make it better. It's not going to fix it. Unless you're going to come up with some ideas or a plan to make it better and to help things, help other people grow and have the best life possible, or to solve some of the challenges and problems that exist today. Complaining is so counterproductive. Now, one of the things about complaining is that when you complain, what you're doing is you're not focusing on solutions. You're not focusing on how to solve whatever the problem is. And as human beings, that's what we're supposed to do. We're here to solve problems. That's why each one of us has been given a special purpose. Each one of us, we have different gifts and talents and different callings on our life. And that's so that we can help solve some of the problems that exist today. So when you complain, basically you're focusing on what's wrong. And the sad part about that is you program and train your brain to constantly see the negative. And that will take you, well, in the opposite direction. That's definitely not going to amplify your success. And see, the other thing about that is that when you are complaining so much, what you're saying is that you don't have the ability to overcome, that you're not built by design to win, that whatever this problem is that you're facing, you're powerless to overcome it. And eventually we end up putting it on someone else to solve the problem for us. And you know what? That rarely works. And that's something that I have learned, let's say, a long time ago, that if I wanted to be successful, I had to make sure I did what it took to make things work. So I talked about the fact that you might end up blaming someone else or putting it on someone else. So that brings me to number 2. If you want to amplify your success, you can't blame other people. So stop blaming other people. Whenever things don't work out, sometimes we have a tendency to blame other people for what's going wrong. And I think I want to say it's human nature, but I'm not really sure if that's human nature or if that's something that we learned from seeing other people do it. But what I will say is no matter what causes a person to blame someone else for where they are in life, it's not going to take you to where you truly desire to be in your life. The object of the game is to really take responsibility for the choices that you've made. For everything that has not worked out the way I hoped it would in my life, when I look back at it, then I always ask myself the question, what have you learned from this? We kind of, in this day and time, there's so much criticism, and criticism has always been around, but it seems to have gone to a much higher level. We have social media out there, so everybody gets to chime in, or the people who choose to chime in, they will chime in. And one of the things that if you were to pay attention on social media, some of the social media videos or the YouTube videos that people watch, they have far more views than the videos that would actually help people get the lifestyle that they desire. And so they would prefer to listen to the gossip or watch somebody complain and, of course, add their comments to it as well. If you want to amplify your success, it's so important that you do your best to stay away from that and especially get out of the blame game. The blame game, it's not going to help you grow. When we can take responsibility for mistakes, and don't get me wrong, in spite of all of the criticism, it is important that you understand that the people that are criticizing you, they're not going to help you win. So it's important that you ignore that and turn that noise down and really put your attention on what you've learned, what you can do better, what you can do differently, so that you can get the outcome that you are expecting for your life. The beautiful part about getting the outcome that you're expecting in your life, achieving those goals that you set, the beautiful part, you become an example to other people. You become an example to people, even the people who are critical. Okay, so there's a song, Everybody Loves a Winner. I think the one I know of is by Natalie Cole, and it's one of my favorites. It's old, and it's been one of my favorites, and it still is. And in the song, she talks about the fact that everybody loves a winner, and that's the fact. No matter what happens to you in your life, if you fall down, get up and win. Keep going towards the winning circle. Now, here's the thing about going towards the winner's circle or crossing that winner's finish line. What that means is you are tuning out the noise from other people who actually aren't there to help you. There will be people who are there to help you. At Power Up Nation, that's why we're here. We don't want to criticize you. We want you to recognize, hey, this is what I've learned, and let's get to where it is I want to be. But the thing about crossing that finish line or that winner's finish line or getting into the winner's circle, that says that you're committed to following through on your purpose. That says you're committed to rising to the occasion, and that you're more committed to doing what God put you here to do, as opposed to what human beings are saying about you. I think we're all on this path where we have a lot to learn. Some of us have to learn more than others. And a lot of the things that I've shared this on previous podcasts, a lot of the things that I've learned in my life have come through trial and error. And some things actually that it would have been nice if the people who raised me had taught me about certain things in life. But that's not a mark on them. It's just people teach what they know. And I have a great life. I had a great life growing up, have a great life now, maneuvered through those challenges. God gave me insight. God pulled me through. And so as a result of that, it made me stronger, and it definitely helped me to become wiser. So instead of spending time blaming other people, recognize the prizes that will be on the other end when you start to take responsibility. One of the things too is, before we move on to number 3, is that when you are always blaming someone else, again, you are taking yourself farther and farther away from serving your purpose. What you're saying is someone else is in control of the outcome of your life. There are people that are complaining about artificial intelligence these days and all the different AI programs that we have. Instead of using them as a resource, people are wasting time complaining. And I'm thinking, okay, so you're complaining, you're blaming the people who created it. It's a waste of time. So number 1, stop complaining. Number 2, stop blaming other people. And number 3, stop hanging around people who are not on your side. Now, I started to label this as stop hanging around the wrong people. But you get to decide who's right and who's wrong. But here's the thing. How do you decide that? If they're talking you out of your calling, if they're talking you out of your purpose, if they're talking you out of your dream, then you know what? Yeah, they are not necessarily bad people, but they're probably the wrong people for you. So you want to think about look at your circle and examine what each person is bringing into your life. Now, listening to this, you may say, wow, that's pretty opportunistic, and that's a fair weathered friend. Well, here's my definition of a fair weathered friend. That's a person who comes around you when everything is going good, and they offer no help when things aren't going as well as you would hope. So that's a fair weathered friend. So you're not being a fair weathered friend. What you're being is a responsible friend. You're freeing them up to go and be friends with people that they can connect with have a much, let's say, stronger connection to, or a connection where they feel comfortable, as opposed to allowing them to stay in your life and make you uncomfortable. Again, these are things I've learned through trial and error, because when you are hanging around people who are not on your side, the thing about that is they will affect your behavior, okay, which can affect the outcome of your life. What most people don't recognize is that confidence and courage, these things are contagious. If you're around someone who's courageous, someone who's confident, it's a feel-good moment. While it doesn't mean you're not afraid a little bit, but what it means is there's something in you that says, wow, they're doing it. I can do it as well. I can do this thing too. And so you will rise to the occasion, because that good energy is jumping off on you. It is permeating through your life at that point. So they're benefiting you. So these are some of the right people. On the other hand, fear and negativity, that's also contagious. People who are always talking about fear and they're always so negative and always finding something wrong and always playing weak. And don't get me wrong, at some point in our lives, we kind of have those vulnerabilities. There are times when we're vulnerable. There are times when we have even feel weak, something that we're not capable of doing, or we think we're not capable, but we really are capable. But see, that's the beauty of your circle. when you feel like you're not capable, even though it's something that in your heart of hearts, you know you're called to do, those courageous, confident people will build you up. And those are the kind of people that you want to be around. You don't want to be around the fearful people who will say, oh, that looks like it's too hard. Oh, that's too much. Oh, my goodness. Why do you want to do all of that? It has nothing to do with them. If this is attached to your calling and you have people that surround you that are talking you out of it because they want you to be like them, yeah, that's not necessarily the best crowd for you to be around. Let's see. His name was Charlie Tremendous Jones. And Charlie Tremendous Jones, who's passed away, and I had the great fortune to meet him probably, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, and at an event, and it was so great to meet him because I had actually read one of his books. And one of his greatest quotes, even though there have been other people that have taken credit for that quote, but it came from him. One of his greatest quotes was, he said, is that you will become like the people that you surround yourself with. So the people that you spend most of the time, you will be the average of, let's say, the 5 people. That's what he said. The 5 people that you spend the most time with. So you have to be careful. You know, as a business coach who is actually also have done a lot of life coaching and still doing it, because we kind of mix the two now. We have to, in order to make sure people have that strong, confident foundation. One of the things that I have to be careful of, there are people that I coach, they're willing to learn, they're ready to do their homework, they really want to win, and they don't have a problem kind of recognizing that, hey, this is new to me, and they're a little bit apprehensive about moving forward. But they, at the same time, we work it out, we go through it, and they get the courage and they move on. So they don't have a problem with that, and we work it out. But then there are some who are so fearful and their fear energy is so strong. I say to myself, wow, you know, I am so glad that I don't have to, they're not in my immediate circle, that I don't have to spend 5 years with that person. Now, do I think that they're bad people? No, but they're not ready to let go of their fear. They're not ready to even learn how to deal with their fear. And as a result, you can't do much with that, because that energy will really kind of jump off on you. And before you know it, you're afraid and you don't even know why. You're repeating negative things that you've heard these people say, and you're wondering, oops, where did that come from? Especially if you are a positive person and a confident person. So you have to be very careful with the people, about the people that you surround yourself with. So pay attention, you know, and sometimes you have to make a very hard decision. It doesn't mean you don't love them. You know, I always say, you know, I have friends that I love from a distance, and it doesn't mean that I don't love them. It doesn't mean that I don't care about what happens to them in life. It just means that these are people that I can't spend lots of time with, because my ultimate reason for being here is to serve the purpose for which God put me here. I'm not here for them. Okay. And so if they're going to try and talk me out of that purpose, then I have to kind of keep my distance. And you want to consider doing the same thing if you want to amplify your success. And the final and 5th thing is, if you gossip, stop gossiping. And you know, gossiping is very damaging, not just to the person that you're gossiping about, but it's also damaging to yourself. Because if you can fix your mind to say these negative things and put these negative labels on other people, that says a lot about how you think about not just life, but about yourself. You see, this is the thing about gossip, about being a gossip. And when a person gossips, what they don't understand is it's destructive. It destroys reputations. It it destroys relationships. It breaks trust. And so if you're known for that, and here's the thing, you say, well, I just told this one friend and I told them not to tell. If I share something and it's not exactly flattering, I never tell a person, oh, don't tell them I said it. Because if I were to do that, chances are I've already shared it with that person, but I've done it in a nice way. Now, gossip is not my thing. I don't gossip. However, I'm saying if I did, I would have already told that person, because I think I owe them that respect, and I have that kind of respect for myself. And I would want people to treat me that same way. But it's not just about that. It is about what it does to your energy. It brings your energy down. As a matter of fact, there are different places in the Bible that speaks against gossip. Of course, Proverbs speaks against gossip, and it talks about the fact that that gossip separates close friends, and that a trustworthy person keeps a secret, unlike a gossip who betrays a confidence. And that's in Proverbs. And of course, you can go into the New Testament in the Bible, where James talks about the fact that the tongue is restless and it is full of deadly poison. So think about that. The tongue, and in other words, what you speak, it is so powerful that you can either use it to uplift and amplify, or you can use it to destroy and create, which makes it like poison. And so the thing about amplifying is when you are saying something good about someone else, whether you realize it or not, it makes you feel good, and it makes other people think well of you. They look at you and they go, wow, this is a person I want to be around. So these are the 5 things that you may want to stop doing. Now, there are some other things that you can stop doing as well, but we're only talking about 5 here. And when our Summer Success series kicks off, we're going to talk about a lot of these things in more detail, from expanding your mindset and expanding your consciousness level, because all of these different tools that we have out here and the different resources that you have, if you don't have an expanded mindset, these tools and resources, they don't mean anything to you, because you're not going to do that much with them. And the object of the game is to position you so that you can win, do what it takes to win, and amplify your success. So with that being said, you're going to stop complaining. Of course, you guys don't do that, right? And stop blaming other people. Stop hanging around people that are not on your side. Stop putting yourself down to please others. Actually, I kind of skipped that one, so let's touch on that one a little bit. I find that in order to be friends and for people to connect, people are afraid to be themselves today. I think it's always been like that. I can't speak for always, because I haven't been on this earth always. But as far back as I can remember, people would try to behave a certain way so that they could fit in. Now, that has never been my thing, let's say, consistently. But there were times, when I would okay, I want to fit in with this group because I think this is a fun group. But then I get in the group and find out, wow, okay, I'm sacrificing too much of me. So that whole people pleasing thing had to go. So if you want to amplify your success, you want to tap into your own individuality. You need to be you. Be who you were designed to be. Figure out who that is. What is your persona? And stick to that. And don't worry about having friends. You are going to connect with people who love what you stand for, love what you present, love what you bring to the table. So stop putting yourself down to please other people. I know that the kind of the rule of thumb has been self-deprecation so that you can fit in with a group. I think that's for people that actually work a job. And if you work a job, in order to fit in, yes, in corporate America, if you want the promotion, sometimes I guess you have to play the game. Now, as an entrepreneur, you still have to play the game. But the beautiful part about the game is you don't have to sacrifice who you are. because you promote yourself. Okay, based on your skills, based on your talent, based on surrounding yourself with the right team, and surrounding yourself also with the right people, and doing these things that I suggest. Instead of complaining, become more solution oriented, and so on and so on. But in corporate America, or any organization for that matter, where you're looking to get promoted or you're looking to be like, that includes the military. When I was in the military, okay, so a lot of times when I was in the military, especially when I was brand new, I was told, okay, if you continue to smile too much, you're not going to go very far in the military. Nobody's going to take you seriously. Well, it turned out the whole not taking me seriously wasn't true. I never stopped smiling. However, a lot of times being a female, sometimes they would think, okay, because she's smiling, she's being a little fresh. That was the farthest thing from my mind. I'm just a happy person, and I'm not going to sit around and be all serious and look mean just because someone else can't handle it, or because they want to be a pervert or whatever. Get to know the person that you're dealing with. So with that being said, you don't have to put yourself down to please other people. You don't have to change the essence of who you are. Now, that's not the same thing, and we're going to wrap up on this. That's not the same thing as being able to connect with people, being able to get along with people. That's not about being difficult, but it is about knowing who you are and having that level of respect for yourself, where you get to decide what works for you and what doesn't. You don't have to do all those things that you absolutely go against or don't believe in just so that you can fit in. That's not a feel-good life, is it? No, everything's not necessarily going to feel good in life. You're going to have challenges, but don't contribute to the challenge. Don't you be the person who started the challenge or the problem, and keep it going. So I left that one out because I promised you 5. So let's see. Stop complaining. Stop blaming other people. Stop hanging around people not on your side. Stop gossiping. And of course, stop putting yourself down to please others. When you can do these things, think about, we're going to wrap up on this. Think about some of the most successful people that you know, or even some of I want to say the most famous people that you know. Doesn't mean that they're perfect or anything like that. That's not what this is about, but think about them. They are themselves, whether you like them or not. They don't change for you. They're not trying to please you. And they have gone on to do some great things, and they've brought some great things into our world. And so that's why it is important for you to be who God made you to be, not who some human being says you should be. You decide based on it's already been decided by God, but you align with that, and you're going to find that you're always going to succeed. Doesn't mean you won't have challenges, but you will always come out on top. It will always work out for you, and I do mean always. Listen, you guys, that's all I have for you now. Just a reminder: the Summer Success Series that's coming up, and I'm going to be talking more about that throughout this week. So be sure to get on my email list so that you can receive the information and get what you need so you can sign up. And it's going to be free to sign up. Everything within the Success Series is not going to be free, but it's going to be free for you to sign up. And there will be some things that will be offered free, and there will be a few things that there will be a small price, but it's going to be worth it. Either way, the object of the game is to help you get to where it is you want to be and have a little fun along the way. So with that being said, that is all I have for you guys. And in the meantime, I want you to do life with power, knowing that you're built by design to win.